Hey y'all, welcome to Simple Conversations. This is KJ.
Hey, and it's Alice. So pause us for a minute, grab you something to drink, come back, sit down, and be a part of this conversation.
Because we have a lot to say. Welcome to Simple Conversations.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Simple Conversations where grace meets strength. Hey Alice,
Hey, good morning.
how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good. I'm really, really good. So for the listeners, it is September 2021 and we are loving September.
Yes, I am loving September.
Time has flown though, right?
It really has. Like, it just feels like it shouldn't be September yet, but I do love that it's not as hot and I can sit on my deck some more. So I'm loving that.
I mean, you say that, but it's going to be 95 degrees today.
Oh, well, I probably won't sit out there today.
Right, because your hair looks good. You totally shouldn't sit outside today.
Right?
Your hair
It'll go
is
so
fabulous.
Oh, thank you. I have the best hairdresser ever.
Okay. So listeners, I have something very special for you today. So I am going to start with my introduction. So I met this lady at a business owners workshop, and she's a life coach. And I knew that by listening to her that I needed her services. And so just a few things that I know about her is that she's sometimes quiet, but she's sometimes loud. She's a fighter. She's a lover, but she's always authentic. And I love that. She's a truth searcher. She loves helping others. She's a life coach, especially couples. She's a relationship coach with her husband. She's got a calling on her life. And for that, I'm so grateful because you would not believe the value that she has added to my life. She is one of my dearest friends. And today I get the honor of interviewing Alice Ranker. Welcome.
Wow. That was also nice.
Right? Next time you need a biography, you should ask me to write that for you.
Right? I totally should. That was so nice.
So, welcome to Simple Conversations.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. So, Alice has a business called Graceful Impact. And for any of the new listeners, she has a heart for coaching people. She is a life coach. I do want to say that when I first met you, I started seeking your services alone, and then kind of drug my husband in.
Mm-hmm.
And we started doing workshops with other couples, and I did workshops, goal setting workshops with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I probably used about 50% of the tools that you supplied to me, which I feel is winning because my husband and I went to marriage counseling for years and years and years. And we kind of felt stuck with that.
Yeah.
So when we began relationship coaching, it was totally different than what we had been accustomed to with marriage counseling.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really has helped us, probably more so the effective communication that we've learned from you, and the personality, the 4 lenses, the personality workshops that we've done with you. And I think I've done it 3 or 4 times, and each time learned something new about myself and learned something new about people in the same category as my husband.
Right.
But I say all of that to say that I do believe about 7 years ago that you helped to save my marriage. And that's huge. That's huge. Yeah. Because look, we had done all of that,
right.
And this was different. And I appreciate it because we didn't want to stay stuck, and we were kind of stuck.
Right.
So, and this, for lack of a better word, got us unstuck. It gave us things that we could work on relationally together versus like just the same old thing. I mean, we had been to 7 or 8 marriage counselors and it was the same old thing. So welcome to the show. I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you're with us today. But tell me how you got started with Graceful Impact.
Okay, well, before I do, I just want to say about the couples thing is that thank you for that. And I'll probably get into a little bit more of where all that came from. But I also want to say that it takes a couple with courage to reach out for tools and also then to do the work of applying them. So, I can give you all the things, but if you're not ready for them or you're not ready to apply them, then you're not going to see that same success. So I'm not the whole picture there. Like it takes that partnership for sure.
Sure. We had to do the work. You supplied us with the tools. Absolutely.
Right.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. So how did I get started? So, gosh, lots of years ago, I worked with a program called Links on Camp Lejeune, which is a Marine Corps base in Jacksonville, North Carolina, where Tim was stationed. And Links was a mentoring program for spouses by spouses, where we kind of taught workshops on what it was like to live in a military community, like all the things that their spouses had learned when they went through boot camp or OCS training that is just kind of assumed that we needed to know, or that we did know, but we didn't. So we taught it from a spouse perspective. And that's kind of where that mentoring mindset maybe came from. I loved that. I was good at that. I kind of fell into my niche. So I was able to teach and be a leader. And then I ran the team. And then when I left that team, I traveled with the team that went to all of the reserve bases around the country. And so that was a way different form of leading, but the same way of mentoring. And so like it kept you really fresh because you never knew what kind of situation you were going to walk into. So for me, it was constantly learning and adapting to my environment, and not knowing who you were necessarily going to be teaching with. And so, being able to then also adapt to those people. And so learning effective communication was essential, not just for that, but also in my marriage. So when I stopped doing that, it was a really hard decision to make, but I stopped doing that. I felt like that season was over, and I moved more towards doing more one-on-one coaching with people locally, and started a business and just kind of went out on a step of faith.
That's so good. That's so good. So tell me what the difference in your opinion is when we talk about coaching versus counseling.
Okay. Well, and I will say right off the cuff, I'm not I don't think counseling is a bad thing. I did counseling. And I think that there's a season and time that's necessary. I think the difference in coaching and counseling for me is that I don't dig into your past. We might ask some questions and explore some areas for understanding, but only then to give you the tools to move forward, not because we can't change anything that's already taken place. All we can do is, what do we need to successfully move forward? How can we take those events and turn them into a diving board, like to propel us, to help us move forward successfully. And so that's what I try to do with my clients, is to give them the tools that they need in whatever circumstances they come to me, to help them be successful and achieve the goals that they have set for themselves.
That's so good. That's so good, because I believe that there have been times in my life, I absolutely believe in counseling. I believe in a good therapist. I see a good therapist, However, and I sometimes believe that counseling will keep you stuck. Because if we're going to talk about the same thing week after week after week after week, and I'm not moving forward because you want to keep talking about this instead of giving me the tools. So I believe that's the reason why your approach, business
Yeah.
in your approach, and absolutely has been so valuable to me. And I believe that until people understand the difference between counseling and coaching,
Mhm.
that yeah, that I don't know. It's like I think everybody should see a life coach. Like honestly, you were my third life coach. So, but now you're my friend. And so that's kind of hard. So, anyway, but I should say not hard, but challenging. So, I get a lot of it free, which, you're my friend. So,
Yeah, you just
am I
do.
privy to that? Yeah, maybe. So,
Yeah.
so who are your clientele?
Predominantly women.
Okay.
So personally, predominantly women and of all ages. So everyone from, I've worked with some mother-daughter relationships, who were teens, mothers with teens. Just being, I guess, kind of a mediator, trying to help them with their communication so that each one could step outside and really gain perspective of what the other one was really trying to communicate. All the way to, I mean, I've had some senior ladies who have been clients. So everything in between, with kids, without kids. Yeah, all realms of women.
Right. Heterosexual, homosexual.
All realms of women. Yep.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and then also two couples as well.
Yes. So we do couples, we coach couples. And again, we've had everything from young and engaged all the way through. I think the longest married couple that we have coached was married for 30 years, and just needed some tools to kind of refresh. And, different season of life, you need different tools. And so we have coached, and we've coached couples locally, so we can do that face to face. We have coached couples that live in other states, and we use Zoom for that. So thank goodness for virtual, opportunities to still be together. So yeah, the biggest thing that we do with coaching, well, that I do, is you leave with homework every time. Like you're going to have some form of homework to accomplish, because it's good to process. It's good to think things through. Absolutely. But then you have to actually do it. So I need you to do the work. I need you to start putting things in place, because you need to see success, and you need to see that you're moving forward. And then that gives us an opportunity to fine tune and to tweak those tools.
That's really good. That's really good. So one thing that I didn't mention when I was introducing you is that you also have this amazing idea that you have come up with that is really something that has not been seen by me and by the other women that are utilizing it every day. And it's a lot of things put in one place that you have titled The Life Designer. And so that is your new baby. And I want you to tell us about your Life Designer. Why, how, what, all of that.
Okay. It is my baby. I guess about a year ago, really a year ago, I had previously used lots of tools when coaching women, things that had obviously worked for me. So everything from Brene Brown, who I just adore, to Laura Casey, to the 5 love languages, to the 4 lenses, the personality assessment, all the things. And I just kind of pulled from all of those resources when working with a client, depending on what they needed. And most of the clients that I worked with, and the circle that I'm in, women use their planners. Women are busy. They had planners, and that was part of our conversation, is always looking for the best date book, the best planner, the one that fit your lifestyle. And those of you who are relating to, as I'm saying this, you're shaking your head. You've bought hundreds of different kinds to try to find the right one, right? So I too use a planner. And so I wanted to create a small but sturdy, place for everything. So I created a life designer. Each time it's quarterly. So the one that's coming out now will be for fall, and it will be October, November, December. It is at the printers right now. I'm really excited about it. I get super nervous and doubt myself so much when I'm putting it together. Okay, are these the right tools that people need for right now? Am I putting this together in a way that it makes sense? Like, I go through all of that, right? And then I have someone who comes behind me and proofs it and looks over it to make sure that it doesn't just make sense to me, it's going to make sense to you, because I'm a talker. So writing is a little bit challenging to make sure that I am portraying and getting the point across. Okay, so that being said, when you get a life designer, it's going to start off with personal growth exercises. And so for summer, the theme was revive. And so I focused the theme of the book around our mindfulness, self-awareness, the way we talk to ourselves. There's all types of, just little tips in there, things to help you grow, tips on communication, exercises, things to practice. And there's a place for your goals, because I think goals are really important. And we do know that when you actually write your goals down, you're 43% more likely to achieve it when it's on paper and you stop just rolling it around in your head. So there's a place for all of that. And then when you get to your actual calendar, you get one for each month. When that month happens, each week of that month, you will have a devotion of some type. And then you will go into what I call the planning hub, which is 2 pages. And so on the first page of it, you have a place to create your meal plan, a to-do list, your shopping list, practicing gratitude, which I am a huge advocate for, practicing gratitude. On the page beside it is your actual calendar. You have a place to write out the relationships that you're cultivating, whether that's coffee with a friend or a note that you want to send or a text that you want to send to somebody that's popped into your mind. There's a brain dump question each week, because I think that's important too for us to just sit with ourselves and just be mindful of us, what we're feeling, where we are in life before we move forward. And then that will just kind of be the same theme throughout the book.
I love that. I love that. So that's the same theme throughout the book. Is there a different theme quarterly?
Yes. So each theme is different. Each quarter does have a different theme. So we started the year off with, that's a good one. Refresh was January, February, and March. And then we went to Rejuvenate, which was the spring one, which took us through April, May, and June. And then summer was Revive. So July, August, September, which takes us to Reflect for October, November, December for fall.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're all really beautiful. That mattered to me a lot. So really talented artist, Nathan Francisco of Chattanooga, Tennessee, is the designer that designs the covers and gives me a little bit of the graphic stuff on the inside, like the flowers and stuff, so that it's just a really pretty guide for women, because that matters. It's also lightweight and sturdy, so it's easy to carry with you. I take it to the grocery store for my shopping list. I can toss it in my purse or, my computer bag. It doesn't weigh very much, and it's convenient.
And it's spiral bound.
It is. Yep, it is spiral bound.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I really do, because that says to me that, okay, you're a journaler and you know what works. And yeah, a hardback spiral works.
Yes,
it works.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So who will benefit from that?
So I put it together specifically for busy women, which is, all women. But I think my experience with women, my experience personally, is that women are really busy. And most of the time we're busy taking care of other people or doing things for other people, and not always pursuing our own purpose or being having the permission to be intentional about achieving our own goals and dreams. So that's another reason that I put the book together, because I want every woman to have the opportunity to fulfill her purpose and to have the tools in place to be able to have permission to know that someone else is saying, yes, do this. It's okay for you to do this. I give you permission to practice self-care. I give you permission to sit with yourself and write out your dreams and your goals and your heart's desire. So all women.
Yeah, that's so good. It really is. So how many have you released so far?
So the Reflect will be the fourth one. So
The fourth one.
one complete year. So 2021, one complete year.
That's so exciting.
It is exciting.
It really is. Yeah. You know, a lot of good things have come out of being in quarantine, right?
Really. Yes.
Yes. Yes. And your life designer is one of those.
It really is.
It really is.
Because if we had not been in quarantine and my life had been as busy as usual, I don't know that I would have stopped long enough to go through the process. It was a lot of work. Like seriously, for me, it was a lot of work. I enjoy it because it's creative, but it also really stretches me. So, you know, I don't know that I would have been as apt to pull away from other things to do it, but having the opportunity to do it now, now there's an obligation. Now there's, there's people who have purchased the whole year. So it's not like I can be like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm done with that. Like I don't have that opportunity. So it's good. It holds me accountable.
I love that. I
do too.
Yeah. And really it holds you accountable to your dream.
Yes.
Because this was a dream of yours. Yeah. So I love that. So tell the listeners how they can order.
So it's so easy. So it's on any of my social media feed. You can find it. It's a really beautiful book, and it says Gracefield Life Designer Reflect 2021. You can also go to my website at gracefulimpact.net. It'll be right at the top of the page. You'll see it. It's really pretty. It's easy to do. And if you mention the podcast when you are on the website, so we're going to give you a coupon code. It's going to save you 10% by listening to the podcast and going to the using that when you go to the website. And it's Simple Convo. So take out the vowels, SMPLCONVO, and we'll put that in the show notes. Simple Convo is your coupon code.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so tell the listeners the different ways that they can order. So you can either order 1 quarter or the full year, correct?
Yes. And so, and you can still purchase that way, even though this is the last quarter of this year, it'll just roll you into, the next 3 quarters of next year. And that's still okay. It saves you a few dollars by doing it that way. The book is $24.98. I think that's right. I focus so much on what's on the inside that I don't actually know that to be 100% true. And
people for that.
And I think if you do the year, it's like $87 and some change. So it does save you by doing the year. Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about ordering, and it just shows up right in time for the next quarter. You don't have to stay on top of it, Yeah. So it just simplifies it for the client, for the people purchasing.
That's awesome. So for the listeners, if you decide to order, make sure that you use the coupon code SMPLCONVO. That'll save you 10%. If you do decide to order and pay for the year, I will personally send you a free gift from this podcast, Simple Conversations. So if you sign up for a full year, you will also get a free gift from our podcast, Simple Conversations. So we look forward to seeing how that will add value to your life. And Yeah, absolutely. Because it's amazing. It's everything that a busy woman needs in a small little. I shouldn't say small because it's not small as in the size of it. Like you can still I could stick it in my purse.
Right.
Okay, right. So, but it's everything that we need as busy women to keep our lives in order. So, this has been really good.
Thank you so much.
Yes, it's been really good. Thank you so much. So, listeners, make sure you go on gracefulimpact.net and grab yourself a life designer. And also, too, if you think that you need a life coach, I would encourage you to also get in touch with Alice. There's many ways. We'll put in the show notes on how people can get in touch with you. And always know that coaching can be done virtually. So
Yeah.
we are not stuck to a brick and mortar business nowadays. You can be coached via Zoom, and I
Yeah.
promise you that that you will be so grateful, that your future self will thank you for it. Because looking back now, I absolutely am so grateful. I was in the same room as you that night at that business owners fellowship meeting. So
Yeah.
yeah, isn't that crazy? It's
Yeah.
so crazy. It seems like so long ago, but I
Really
think it seems
does.
like so long ago because the growth, the personal
Yeah.
growth.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I
So this has been wonderful. I look forward to, I hope that you have to go back to the printer and ask for double what has been printed, because our listeners are going to hop on your website as soon as they hear and grab themselves a years full of life designers.
received that. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. So listeners, until next time, thanks for listening, y'all.
Thanks for listening.
Hey, you guys, we just want to say thank you today. We want to thank our listeners and those of you that have subscribed to the Simple Conversations podcast. Friends, thanks.
Hey y'all, this is KJ from Simple Conversations Where Grace Meets Strength. Thank y'all so much for listening and tuning in. If it weren't for y'all, there would be no reason for us to do this. Listen, we need your help. We need your support. So head on over to patreon.com/Simple Conversations and decide exactly how you want to be involved. For $5 a month, you would get access to behind the scenes content. For $25 a month, you would get that as well as a shout out on the podcast or fan input. As a supporter for $50 a month, you would get all that in the previous two tiers, as well as a one-time gift or book that Alice and I have read or are reading that we think would add value to your life. Or for $100 a month, we consider you family. You ever heard that before? That's friends that are so good that we consider you family. So you would get everything in the previous three tiers, as well as exclusive branded merchandise from Simple Conversations. So listen, our heart's desire is to do more and to be more. And so in order for us to do that, we need help. And so we're dependent on you to help us make that happen. So thanks for tuning in and thanks for your support. See y'all.